You're listening to the Light Over Time podcast with David Sargent and Korey Bartos. It is August 2nd, 2026, and this episode is not sponsored, but sponsored by my buddy Kyle's Lucky Frog Social Tonics. Delicious beverages that can be had online somewhere. I don't know, I'll tag him, but they're delicious and I'm obsessed. Really good dude. I'm doing a couple of photos I've done and am doing some e-commerce photos for him. But it's also just a delicious beverage, 0% alcohol, no caffeine, but
nice.
Got some vibes in it, ashwagandha and some magnesium and stuff. It's just delicious. Anyway, this one is Meyer lemon, strawberry, and basil, and it slams.
Good.
But I also have a latte this morning that I made with this peony blend that I got from Snake River out in Jackson Hole. Crazy good coffee. Between the Moondoes I have and the Snake River stuff is super good. I just picked up, have you heard of Graffio? Graffio. It's like a Italian style. They've been roasting coffee forever.
Okay.
But
I haven't.
Their marketing was like, why is this the coffee that Michelin star chefs drink or whatever?
Okay.
Because they like air roast it so it doesn't get all charred, and it's like classic dark roast Italian coffee. I don't know. I was like, I'll bite. I'm gonna get some to try it. I got some for Evan as well that he doesn't know that I'm giving him, because he's a Michelin star restaurant kind of fella.
Okay.
But I'd be surprised to see if it's any good. Anyway, what are you drinking today?
Some of our Mexico Chiapas. We're actually just about out of it, so I think in the next probably 2 weeks we're going to be gone, finishing up that bag. Very nice. Toasted oats, granola, a little subtle molasses sweetness. I like it a lot. Very rich.
Yeah, heck yeah. I'm kind of over good coffee companies not telling me what is in their roasts, or even telling me sometimes if it's light roast or not. This one is, but there's like nothing to tell you where the origins are from. It's just flour blend.
It can either come off as really pretentious or a severe lack of confidence, and sometimes both.
Or just like maybe it's not consistent. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like maybe they're like, we're going to do a lot of this, but the bags aren't exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Seems weird. Seems sketch. Anyway, so we got quite the show. David's got some pretty rad stuff to share that he's been shooting. I haven't been shooting that much, but I'll tell you why. I'll jump right into it. So I am reframing. First of all, storage, crazy expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Going through right now and trying to tuck all the stuff I just don't need right now away onto master drives and backing some stuff up and getting my stuff clean because I'm doing more video. I just released another episode of that vlog from April in Florida. Some really good photography in it. It's
I'm gonna watch that today.
There's some. It's longer. It's like 17 minutes. I think there's one more episode left of that series, and then I'll hopefully sit down and do the talking head and try to do the same, but probably just do one big episode on the trip out west.
Nice.
Because I have footage and a bunch of B-roll and a bunch of photos. So Elle and I will hopefully try to sit down, hopefully sometime this week, and do that, because I will be going to Connecticut. Next, I'll be going to Maryland to pick up my dad. He and I will be going up to Connecticut for SWAT Challenge and Tactical Rescue Challenge.
My home state.
Yeah, I forget that sometimes.
Me too.
Because I remember you talking about Florida, so I always think you're from Florida, but you just lived there briefly. Anyway, so gonna be shooting a bunch of photo and video at TRC. I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull it off because it's like basically an entire, like, it feels like it should be a 3-day event and it's in one day.
Oh.
But I'm gonna try and sit down with the guy who runs it, Ben, my buddy, and a couple of the competitors and do some really brief, quick interviews, because I want to try and do a short little mini doc on it, because they haven't done anything like that. I think it's an incredible event and they need a little bit more buzz around it. This is the 8th year they've been doing it and it's insane. So like,
awesome.
Really, really cool. It's basically like 4 like events, teams of 2 compete with like tactical medicine, shooting, fitness, all that stuff. This year they're in a university for the first at 4 a.m. they start.
Whoa.
At a pool. And they have to rescue a 220-pound dummy in a pool. It's like intense.
4 a.m.
Yeah, super intense. my company does a push-up contest every year, and we give away a whole slide and everything like that, and that's pretty sick. But
if they're having people start things at 4 a.m., why not make it a 2-day event?
Right. Well, I think it has to do with like a little bit of it's like the like tactical medicine part of it is like you have to be able to perform like when emergencies happen. Dude, they're intense. These are like Army Ranger, like 75th guys. These are East Coast SWAT guys. They're all jacked and intense. But so yeah, I'm trying to kind of set up the long and the short of the whole deal is that in 2 years from about now, my now wife will be doing a fellowship somewhere, and I don't know where that's going to be. And maybe that means I can still do like part-time like socials and stuff for the company I'm at, but it might mean that I have to take like a hiatus from working there for a bit because I refuse to not move with her. I think being supportive and stuff for those like really brutal times is important. Yeah. So I want to build a relevant video portfolio, and I'm going to take that a lot more seriously. It might cut into a little bit of my photography time, but it's going to be pretty cool. So I have a couple other little editing projects that I'm going to be doing for a buddy. I'm going to be working on kind of doing some spec work and some mini documentary work. And then looking at bigger projects that I can kind of shape over the next 2 years to, get kind of cruising. So I'm feeling pretty motivated for the first time in a while. Awesome. Less so about just like the doomsday of, the content space being bad, because I think if you make good little films, again, I started doing this for nobody. Why should I care if it's going to do well on YouTube? I should just make my films. But yeah, so from there, because this is all connected as everything is, we had some announcements gear-wise, and David's whole half of this episode will be really solid photography and stuff, and we'll talk about that. So I'm going to get into a little bit of gear. But we got that RX10 Mark V or whatever, which was really disappointing because I was hoping it was an A6900, which I allude to in this episode from the bird vlog in April, where I was like, man, I really hope they do like a partially stacked or a stacked APS-C sensor. They didn't. They gave us stacked. They gave us an old camera with a couple of updates of a processor, and that's fine. I
didn't realize that the predecessor was also a stacked sensor.
It's the same exact sensor. Same. Yeah, they just changed the processor and the battery, and so good updates for what it is. I think me and a lot of other people were like, wow, this might actually be kind of cool if they can pull it off, and it'd be like a sweet little, I was like, this could be cool when we don't want to bring the big bird cameras, but we're traveling somewhere.
Could be.
But it's not. Zooming, autofocus is not good. Like if you're zooming in and out and trying to autofocus for photos, it kind of just does not do the thing. It's better in video, but
yeah, that's only on a rocker, right? You can't move the zoom on your own.
It's a power zoom, yeah. So you're just like, come on, 600.
That's not ideal.
It's not ideal because it's not what it is. It's not what it's for, right? It looks like it takes amazing video if you're trying to do like family stuff and everything. $2,000 for the quality that it's producing is pretty great, but it's just not for the people that wanted it to be for them, which was funny.
Do you think the way this camera was built and perhaps who it was built for, are you as shocked that it doesn't have pre-capture as most people seem to be?
No.
I wasn't either.
They're like, yeah, do I think they could have done it? Sure. Do I think that stops people from buying like an A7 V and stuff? Sure. And I think pre-capture is kind of, I will argue, a more professional feature. And it takes a little bit more, it's not just like intuitive. I will argue, even if it's just to play devil's advocate, it took me a while to remember that after I have pre-capture, then you have to burst longer. I think I talked about it in one of the episodes. Like you actually have to know that it's working a second or a half second or a second and a half behind you. So you have to know to like shoot through the action more and stuff like that. Yeah. It's not super intuitive.
Right.
But I also don't think it's something that like the avid family photographer or something necessarily cares about. Like you'll get the other devil's advocate of people that are like, dude, I still shoot a 5D Mark II with a 100 to 400, and I shoot in single focus and a single frame per second, and it's like, because you can do that. Because you can.
Yep.
I can do that. Is it fun? No. Will I miss a lot of shots? Yes. So does that person. You can anticipate a lot.
Probably been using that same setup for 15 years doing it that way, so the practice is there.
Yeah, well, and it just is what it is, right? Like
They're good at it.
Yeah, I'm okay at it. But I would argue that shooting toddlers or kids and shooting birds, you can only anticipate so much. Like,
Yep.
I can absolutely shoot baseball with a single frame a second and get close to capturing what I need to do. Do I want to do it? No. Why would I do that? I have even 5 FPS on like an older body. Like, shoot 5 FPS. Shoot through the action. It's fine.
Yep.
Anyway, that's a little bit older news now, but I figured I'd talk about it. I really did wish there was an A6900. I hope we still have something on the way. The next one that has just been throwing everybody, all the YouTube creator people, through a tizzy is the FX5. And I didn't expect there to be so much drama about it. And maybe it's manufactured drama. And I certainly didn't help because I also made a video on our channel kind of as like a pre-warning to just people who think they'll need it or something.
Yeah.
Where even before I knew it was the Barano like menu, I was like, this is not going to be for everyone. This is going to be really sick. But after kind of what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, which is like, what do I need to round out my kit so I can comfortably like take a video gig? Because I'm not really optimized for that, right? I was considering it. And my buddy Ryan, he pre-ordered it, but he shoots an FX3 and an FX6, so it makes a lot of sense. And he just went full-time. Congrats, Ryan, if you're listening to this for some reason. So it fits really well into his workflow. He wasn't even worried about RAW. He just liked the form factor and that he could do potentially open gate if he wanted. The FX5 is sick, but I maintain, if you want to watch the video where I'm talking about it, that like the things are so good now. Most people still just need S-Log 3. A lot of people don't need S-Log. They can shoot S-Cinetone and get incredible stuff. And it's not going to make you anything. It won't do a single thing for you that running like an A6700 would not do for you.
Right.
So it's not it's a very expensive camera that people will want you to buy, and they'll say that it's better. But if you have an FX3 or an A7S3 or even an A7 IV or something, really evaluate yourself and say, am I pushing stuff, my video to a level where you warrant that? And I say this to say it to myself as well, because like I can use my A6700 and go shoot anything. It's awesome. I've done it. I've used it at work. I've used it for all sorts of stuff. It's 26 megapixel stills and 4K. It does 4K 120. It's insane. And S-Log 3, like with autofocus. Like
there's a different conversation to have when you actually have the disposable income and want to just make the right choice. Yes, there's the right tool for the job. Yeah. But if you've already got a bunch of gear, you don't need to run out and get the newest thing. Yeah.
Somebody made a really good point. They were like, you can just put FX5 footage next to a Barano and an FX3 and an A7 IV, and on YouTube, you're never going to know.
No.
You're just never going to know. And on the high end of that, it's actually really cool that you can put it next to a Barano and shoot RAW, and it does the thing.
Yeah.
But again, if you're not putting together DCPs for projecting your short films like in a theater or something like that, you just don't need the latitude.
Yeah.
I want the latitude. The dual gain sensor seems awesome. Seeing how much you can lift the shadows of the video, even not in RAW, like even in S-Log, using the dual gain setup is insane. So if you're unaware, for the nerds out there that like to hear a little bit about it, it appears that the FX5's 16-ish megapixel sensor is the same as the A7R6's 67 megapixel sensor, because it's a quad Bayer sensor. The way it happens is just like technology and things, you can do stuff and utilize the chips in different arrays for stuff. The technicality of that is unimportant. What is important is they're utilizing it in a specialized manner to either get the maximum amount of megapixels for stills or get the maximum dynamic range for video, and that's really cool. Those two cameras, you can't do it at the same time, as far as I've like understood. Like with the processing and stuff, you can't just let it be a 16 megapixel video camera and then go shoot 67 megapixel stills. There's a lot of architecture stuff that you have to do to make it run like that. But it's neat, and so I was looking at that. I decided I'm not there with my filmmaking either. I can still use my current gear and get everything that I need to do. So put that on the back burner. As much as I want RAW, as much as I want the ability to shoot with Sony and run anamorphics, I don't need that. Especially considering a lot of my stuff will still be web, and you can do 16:9 1.5 times anamorphic and just crop the edges, and it does not matter. Render it out to 4K, and it's not going to matter on YouTube, I promise. Nobody will ever know. But then, I was going to pre-order the A7 R6. The amount of data I've moved over the last 2 weeks, cleaning up my stuff, it's impossible. I couldn't do it. Yeah. With the amount that I'm shooting right now, like in the price of storage, I cannot have a 67 megapixel sensor. But the crux of this whole deal was I can't use Works camera all the time. I can't take it wherever I want. It's not my camera. So I bought an A7 V and a 28-70 f2 GM.
Oh, he did it.
And this was probably one of the most boring purchases I've ever made. Because technically nothing about either of these is sexy, other than the fact that it only moves that much when it zooms, which I was very pleased about. But with the 70-200, the 28-70 f2, the A9 III, and the A7 V, if I can't get it done, David, the podcast is over. Yeah. I'm not a filmmaker. Everything else I have to do is edit. Like, it's all in the edit, right? It's all video editing and magic and storytelling. And it took, so I realized, backtrack just one more hop. I've bought myself fancy camera gear every birthday except for 2020. It was the only year I didn't do that. Or 2019. Oh, 2019, because I took myself to Japan that year instead of buying camera gear. So why not do it again? I actually sold guitar and firearm stuff to completely cover the purchase of this almost, actually, which was epic. And yeah, so I got a ND filter. I have this set up. This is going to be my setup for shooting the TRC stuff. Cool. And the dock. It's a good lens. I mean, it does exactly what you would hope that it does.
I mean, you've only been talking about it for so long.
Yeah, I mean, it came out a year ago, or something like that, a little more than. 28, 35, 50, and 70 mil f2. Right? It's like having 4 primes in your pocket, except it's massive, but like that's fun. I also busted out a bunch of my support gear, and I got a thread adapter to throw an ND filter on a Helios, and I'm rigging up. I'll eventually have a little small handheld video rig with a cage and stuff, just so if I need more support using like external audio and do some options, I have that. But yeah, so I've been going through all my old footage, especially because I've done the TRC a couple of years. I've been going through all the stuff that I've shot with L because I still want to do the bird doctor documentary type content.
Heck yeah.
So I have like B-roll for days of like birds that we've shot from even before she was shooting photos when we went to Vancouver whale hunting, like shots of her on the boat and stuff like that. And just trying to figure out where I can make these actual stories that I've been shooting for the last couple of years happen, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
And it's awesome feeling so bored by like now I just have the workhorse gear that you need to just shoot whatever the hell you need to shoot.
Yeah.
It's not sexy. It doesn't have like the character. It's not, but I've committed to not buying anything else. And unless it's support equipment that I don't currently have for filmmaking, lights or anything that I might, be helpful for a gig or something. But I have some friends that I can borrow some of that equipment from and rent some of that equipment from. And it's looking pretty good. So that's my main current update is getting back into filmmaker mode.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you come up with. The A7 V, obviously a workhorse camera. That lens, obviously going to be a workhorse lens.
Yeah.
For you, I have to imagine that part of this, like I'm sure a lot of other people, is when you have the means, you can also enjoy the process of just getting new stuff.
Right.
When you use it, when you buy it, you use it. You either like it or you don't, or somewhere in between. And a year goes by and you swap over to something else. That's what you do, and
Right, yeah.
I think you enjoy that.
I do. Yeah, I do. And Elle's learning that process is, I mean, since Guitar Gear, since everything,
Yeah.
I like to build stuff and then sell it and then get new stuff to build and then build stuff and sell it.
And that's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when it's sustainable.
Yeah, for sure. And what was really interesting was part of my last 2 months. A lot happens, as you might know, when you get married in your brain, which is you are entering like the next half of your life, where like now I will never think about dating a different human being, right? Yeah. Like I now I'm thinking about how we grow as individuals, and so it's all new things that I've never experienced as an adult man.
You start to shift.
Yeah, how can you start to, like, I don't know, better support each other and optimize your lives to be the most enjoyable lives you can have together.
Yeah.
Inside of the constraints of your jobs and like what you have to do as people or whatever. And with that came a little bit of like a, not like midlife crisis or whatever, but like a lot of introspection, right? Mm-hmm. And I had kind of felt like, due to the guitar thing, due to the gun thing, that, that even my career has shifted so much with the like second job and then leaving the second job and everything like that, where I was going into a couple of different lanes all the time, to the point where I was letting some of them completely fall behind, and like I'm barely a guitarist anymore, right? Which is fine. Like, some people will be like, no, Korey, you're great at guitar. Yeah, but I'm not pursuing music in the way that like 17-year-old me would punch me directly in the face right now if he knew that I wasn't doing it. Because I wanted to be like a professional guitarist, studio guy, like. And then I'm not competing and shooting anymore. And I was like, what is the thing I actually want to do? And I haven't been making narrative films since, like, I guess technically pre-COVID, actually. Like, I've edited some stuff, but like I was out shooting in New York like 2016, 17, 18, 19, and it was like all we were trying to do is make stuff.
Yeah.
So I have to take a step back. Guitar is allowed to be a hobby. Shooting can be like work and a hobby, but I want to be a filmmaker. I want to make stuff with my cameras. So
are you completely without a guitar?
No, I have like my rig and everything.
There
like
you go.
But it's a hobby. Like I have to let myself.
So you didn't sacrifice the hobby. You just had to trim it down.
No, I sacrificed the dream of like, I still think almost every day how nice it would be to be playing with people again and being in a band and everything. But it's like, but you can do that, but you can't do that and be a very successful filmmaker. I could probably jam with some people, but I can't go write an album. I can't start playing shows. Like, you can't, like, it fills up, my hobbies fill up your life. You can't
only have 24 hours in a day.
You can't be a competitive shooter at all. You cannot compete if you're not at the range. Like, if you're not there once a week, you're done. But you should probably be there a couple times a week actually practicing. Yeah. Or else you're just not competitive. And if I'm not doing well because I haven't been able to practice at something, I don't enjoy myself because I'm a competitive person. I compete against myself really, really hard.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, anyway, my lesson to all of you is to don't let the thing you love, fall to the wayside. Allow yourself to be obsessed in a healthy way about the thing that you like. And even if it's all you think about and talk about, and people are like, dude, all you do is whatever. If you like it, you have to do it. Because I let people tell me so much that like whatever obsession I was on was like a waste of time, or like, why are you even that into that or whatever? And then now I'm just sad because I stopped doing a thing or two, right? So anyway, F them. Enjoy yourself. Do the things that you enjoy. Feeling hella motivated, feeling good about wanting to shoot and do video stuff and like talk about it and do the thing. So anyway, that was a lot longer into the episode than I thought we would get, but I covered my entire thought process right now. So
very good. I wanted to hear it.
Yeah, pretty cool. So I'll be next time we have the next episode, we'll be doing the landscape photo share and stuff like that.
Yes.
I will likely have some test shots and stuff of what I'm doing with the new stuff.
And I'll share some reminders on social media too. So if you're following Light Over Time or me or Korey, you'll be reminded. We have photo shares coming up on the next episode, which will probably be 2 weeks or so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I'll be in Maryland and Connecticut all next week. So
all next week. So either 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'll be back after that next weekend. So
I know I got a bunch of stuff coming up in August too. So I gotta figure myself out.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, so the next photo share is landscapes. If you've shot it, hopefully in the last, if it's 2026, that'd be great. If it's late 2025, that's fine too. Just a blurb about a story about the shot. This could be cityscapes, landscapes, your backyard, anything really. Do what you want. I'm not your boss, but submitting is fun, and we like to talk about your photography, so we'll do that. All right. Yeah. So, getting into David's photography, speaking of which, I'll move this over, and we can get into Moose River camping. So tell me about what we were up to.
Yeah, a few weeks ago. I can't even remember the dates anymore. I've been doing so much shooting that everything is a blur.
June 27th.
June 27th? Yeah, man. I think this might have been shot before the last episode, actually, but I don't think we shared this. This weekend, Tony and I went camping, Moose River, Republic. It's about 20 minutes west of Ishpeming. I was, as I do sometimes as like landscape photographers, astro, like I'm on Google Maps all the time, just like pinching and zooming and moving around, seeing like what locations look like public access and what looks like it has a good southeast view for Milky Way or west or east for sunrise, sunset, all that stuff. I do that all the time. And I stumbled across Moose River campgrounds and clicked on it, and it's a free campground, which is really great. In the UP, you can find stuff like that. And we checked it out. Boy, oh boy, was there a lot of black flies and mosquitoes and everything to just chew up your skin. It was miserable, but the photography was good. It's a small campground. I think there was only like 6, 7, 8 campsites, and one fantastic site that's like right on the bend of the river with a huge open space. Of course, that was taken, but on the river, there were probably 3 or 4 other campsites on the river, and we picked one that was. And we had a couple of things fly in. I took the big lens, and I think I got probably like a dozen different looks from this grosbeak, rose-breasted grosbeak. And I just chose what I thought was the best one. But I don't think I've ever gotten like a more ideal kind of look at a rose-breasted grosbeak before.
And just really nice framing for one of these zooms, right? Because like this could have been easy on the 500 prime, but once you get into those zoom apertures, like some of this can get, but this being perfectly clean back here, this is beautiful. Perfectly framing with these right here, so it's not like messy looking, and it looks like he's actually in an environment. I love when there's still sticks and stuff. Everybody cleans up their backgrounds too much for my taste.
I rarely do.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
gorgeous though.
So
Lots of depth.
Probably 7 or 8 feet in front of me, which is really cool. That's really close for a lens like this. So I didn't have to do much cropping down at all. Just the 2x1, still rocking that. 520 millimeter. So pretty close. He was there for a good 30-60 seconds, just kind of like checking me out, doing his thing. And I was watching him the evening before. I can't remember if this was the Friday or Saturday, but there was an evening I was kind of like checking out the river, and I could see there was a couple of different trees on the river that were pretty typical for him and that were more like 30 or 40 feet away. And so I think this was more the second morning, and he just came in. Oh no, this was the evening.
Nice.
This was evening. So this must have been a little after, but not after the morning. But anyway, he came in and just checked me out for a minute or two and then took off. So that was nice. And then as we were done camping and leaving, you go along the what's that river? I can't remember the river name. It'll come to me later, but there's a river that follows. It's not Moose River. And I saw this one single duck, and I pull off to the side of the road, very slowly make my way to the riverbank and sit down very, very close to the water. And this is a female Goldeneye, did not scare off too quickly. And in fact, another female Goldeneye came in. So there was a pair later on, but I thought this was a really awesome opportunity with a duck that I don't normally see. I see them throughout the year, but I don't usually get just a nice isolated view of one. So this was really, really
This reflection is crazy too. This looks insane.
Yeah, this river, fantastic. There's a lot of slow points, and this is pretty popular river for people to just chill and, you know, kayak down and stuff. So it was very nice setup with the Z8 and the 180 to 600, of course, and no problems. Just a beautiful. It's almost monochromatic with all the greens, you know.
Yeah. It looks nice though. That's sick.
Yeah. So that's Moose River. That was a fantastic weekend. Again, I did that with Tony, and he and we did some landscape stuff there too. And I have an image that I could have included, but we were both shooting during that sunset, probably not long after that Grosbeak photo. And there's a bunch of thick, just like dead trees and brush and stuff. So he was climbing on this dead tree that was on its side. And I'm like trying to take a panorama with the ZF and the Thypoc 28 millimeter. And there's like this one big branch on this dead tree. And I'm like, man, if that wasn't there. He's like, what? Which branch? I said, that branch. So he like climbs on the tree and starts to shake it. And he's like breaking the branch down, and the branch breaks and he falls with the branch. And I swear, like from where I was, only a few feet behind him, all the way down, he's gone. I don't even see him anymore. He went back first, and I thought he was in water with his with his new A7C2 that was replaced the A7C2 that he dunked in water already. So I'm like, oh, he's gone, he's hurt, and the camera's done. And I'm like climbing over brush to help him out. And he's like, I'm okay, I'm fine. He starts to climb out, and he just had a little scratch on his elbow. But yeah, he gets back up on the tree to finish taking his shot, and he's like, take a picture to remember this. So I did. So I've got a picture of him after that on the tree with his scratched up elbow. So I do have a good photo to remember the memory of this trip, actually.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Jeez. Well, I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad the camera's okay.
It looked rough.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right, where are we going from there?
Oh yeah, let's go to the Milky Way stuff.
Cool.
So the Milky Way shots here I like, but the bigger picture, the story to this is that again, we live in the UP, and I have a lot of space to check out Google Maps. So what I did for Tony and I and a couple others that come along with us often, I made you can make a like list of favorites, or like a saved pins list. I don't know exactly what it's called, but a list of saved pins specifically for all the potential spots that I could photograph the Milky Way from that look like they're public access. And this is something I recommend everyone do. Go on Google Maps and look for things like this. This is especially helpful. I think this is helpful for anyone. If you live in an urban area, you need this more than I do because you have less options. Go on to Google Maps and, ask yourself, what do you want? Do I want sunrise? Do I want sunset? Do I want sunrise with the sun in frame, or do I want sunrise with the sun behind me? Know the position of your light sources. In this case, it's Milky Way. I needed to look southeast. So I have a list I made over 100 pins within like a 2-hour drive from me. And what we did was we hit the first pin that was closest to us. It was a almost 15-minute drive from our houses. And what you can do when you make this list of pins is write notes. And so what I wrote little notes about each of these, what I was thinking could happen, or what we could be looking at. And then after we shot here, I went back into the list and updated the note with like, it was good, but probably better earlier in the year, because in the second picture, you'll see why. But it's just good to like kind of give yourself, maybe next year when you revisit this list, an idea of what was good about the location. Now, why I wrote that for this picture is because this was taken, can you give me the date on this one? This was taken.
This is the 10th.
July 10th. Yeah. So in late May is when you can really start to shoot the Milky Way. Early June is very good. In the earlier part of the year, to our view here in North America, that Milky Way core will be further to the left from our view. And so on this particular, there's a dock here that's in shadow. In June, that core will be better lined up inside of this particular frame, which is why I wrote that note for myself. Come back late May, early June. So I have this list of 100 pins. I've only hit one so far. And this will be a living list that just grows as we learn more about these locations.
Sure.
So I suggest and recommend everyone start a list like this. You've got resources all around you. You go to a public library and you'll probably find some photography books, perhaps made by people in your state or even in your city, and you can find some locations. I have a waterfall book that does this for me. I think its name is Phil Stagg. He wrote tons of books, but
yeah, we've talked about it a couple times.
That UP waterfall book does that for me in a way that is so unlike anything else for value. So I'm trying to start my own. That's what this is. So that's more or less what I wanted to talk about with these Milky Way shots. I do like the shots though.
Yeah, it's cool. So you're saying this core will be more center in between these two trees, like
Correct.
to the left?
Yeah. And I was on a bank. There was a bunch of rocks to my left. I could not get further left. I couldn't adjust that.
Got it.
If I was wearing chest waders, I could make it happen. I could have gone out probably another 10 feet and then gotten a little further left, but also would have lost some of the tree in the frame. So
sure. Yeah.
Yep. In June, early June, that would have improved.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool. And you're still running that 16 mil, huh?
Oh yeah. Very valuable lens.
Cool.
I have no intention of getting rid of that thing.
Yeah, that's sick.
Lake Harlow.
Lake Harlow in fog.
We've come back. And I was
sick.
looking. Yeah, I was looking after I uploaded these and I thought maybe they're a little too dark, but I was really editing them for the rim light and the highlights.
Sure.
So they're real underexposed, but that's on purpose. I think I went a little heavy on.
Yeah, I mean, even on the JPEG, there's a ton of latitude right here to for screen or for print. Obviously, It's probably too dark for print, but it's fine for screen.
Yeah, when I was looking at it on my MacBook screen, it was more contrasty, and I was like, this is nice, but yeah, different screens do different things. Anyway, so Tony and I, again, went back to Lake Harlow, and I invited him. I was like, hey, I'm literally just going to pull up to the spot, and it's like 20 feet from the parking lot is where I want to shoot, because this is where the fog rolls in. You don't have to do a lot of hiking. I just have to be there at the right time. And sure enough, we got there. I think it was close to 6:30, 7 o'clock. And there was a ton of fog. We were coming up on the dirt road and I could see it through the trees, just like this diffused fog.
Yeah.
We get out the car and immediately just birds chirping, fog's rolling. And what I loved was that I don't have to have a 6.4, the 600 f4 to make it look like I have a 600 f4 when you've got fog diffusing everything.
Yeah.
It's naturally blurring your background out.
It's nice though, because their subject's still close enough that you're not getting too much like haze in between you.
Correct.
Because this is still super sharp. Like, you would think the fog would also diminish your subject because but that's oof.
There's another shot in there where you can see what you're talking about happen.
Yeah.
But yes.
Oh man.
Common yellow throats. That's a female.
Yeah.
And we had northern parula also that was kind of hobbling around. This guy, all the leaves were super dewy. I'm like, he took a dunk, but actually, as I was watching the common yellow throat, all the leaves were just completely wet. So he was in something thick.
He's soaked, yeah.
So I got him shaking all that water off, highlighted by the sun. So I really liked that shot.
Yeah, no, these are great. That freaking lens is sharp as hell.
It's doing the work. Again, like a little bit of the, what's it called? Lens sharpening output tab on DxO. I think that's what it's called. That does a lot of heavy lifting without having to add the Nik Collection sharpener in.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to, the Nik Collection sharpener does a really good job as well. So I'm learning a little bit more about that lens, learning to use a slightly higher shutter speed than I would have with the 500, just a heavier lens. There's a little funniness with the vibration reduction, and I have to look into this. There's two things I'm noticing, and I don't know if this is like firmware related or something, but I'm noticing when I first turn the camera on, it takes sometimes 10 seconds and maybe you can tell me if you've noticed this on other systems. I don't remember this being an issue with me before, but VR will just like, it almost looks like the vibration reduction system, the sensor, I'm not sure what it is. They're not like calibrated right away. There's a bunch of like wiggle, and then it kind of slows down, and then it kind of locks. I don't know what that is. Sometimes it's 5 seconds. Sometimes it doesn't happen. I have to look into it a little bit more. It's hard to explain, but it, like right away, sometimes it's like a cold start, first one of the day, and it's real wild. Sometimes it's
I don't know. I think with the Sony, it doesn't work at all unless I have press and photos.
I think that's the case for me too, but it's like the first time I'm doing that for the day. Sometimes
it's just a little weird.
It's like starting to, it's like just getting started. I'm not really sure what that is. It's like
the Nikon is a lot different than the Sony though, because do you remember when I first used your 500 and I was like, what in the hell is that? Because like the VR is just so different.
It's very aggressive.
Yeah, it like snaps, like, and it's so obvious.
And that's what this one does too. I think that is a Nikon thing.
Sure.
Because that's the other thing I was going to say was it's just as aggressive as the 500 was, where it'll lock. Like you could get probably a 20 FPS burst off in the same exact position, but then as soon as you let off, you're wiggling, and then as soon as you're back on, it's aggressive. So I think for stills, this is really, really good. I have to put it in sport mode if I'm going to use VR in video at all.
Oh, okay.
Because then it'll smooth it out. You can't forget to do that in video for Nikon.
Yeah, it doesn't, one, I actually think that Sony's strictly non-digital IBIS is also just technically worse than all the other systems for the most part, which is a pro and a con. You know, no wide-angle lens on a Sony has the warping that Canon does, for instance, and it's all just a little different. And maybe it's because of the small mount or whatever. It doesn't matter. But I almost like that it's not super aggressive, because when I switch from photo to video, there's not really a whole lot of difference. It doesn't do anything really drastic.
Sure.
So I don't know, give or take, right? You'd have to figure out. But are there three modes on that lens too?
3 modes as far as VR goes.
Yeah.
No, not like the 500, I believe, had, and I think the Sigma also had extra modes. This one, I can look at it right now. I don't think so.
Because like,
nope, there is no VR setting at all on this. It's just
word. Because like, you know,
I think you just only activated in camera.
Sure. I still haven't fully figured out the Sony ones. Like, I'll switch to the panning one if I know I'm doing hard panning and it seems to be good.
Yeah.
But I still don't understand what mode 3 even is. It's supposed to be like more chaotic or something.
Sigma was like that.
Yeah, I just run 1 for the most part, and if I'm doing like really fast stuff going across lakes or sports or cars or whatever, I'll switch to 2. But yeah, I don't know.
And that worked on the Sigma too. I remember when I used to shoot on the river, that mode 2, that panning mode really, really worked. It would definitely keep me in line and not let me go vertical very easily.
Yeah.
So but this one doesn't have that. So I think the communication and the work between the two is handled by the camera only.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if there's ways to tweak it or whatever, but
yeah, maybe. But otherwise, I'm really get along with the lens, and I'm learning how to shoot it so that it's looking its best.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Just like I did with the Sigma.
Well, yeah, and I think that's an underrated statement, right? Because a lot of people are just like, yeah, slap the new lens on, go shooting. It's like they all do. They're all quirky. They're all kind of weird. Like everything has its own strengths and weaknesses, and none of these lenses are perfect by any freaking stretch of the imagination. So you gotta know where its strengths are.
Yeah, and just understanding what that behavior is and how to adjust for it the best you can.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's go to Grebes.
Grebes.
So here,
this is gonna make me so sad, dude, because this is probably in my top 3 favorite birds of all time. I got my best photo of a pied-billed grebe in the most recent episode of Florida, and it's still not that awesome. So
you need to come by then, because we've got a bunch now.
It's super cool.
I'm so happy, dude. Lake Bancroft has never been better.
Their howl is so sick.
It's awesome. I didn't know what it was for the longest time. I thought it was an owl. I thought it was some bird, and
it's a bird. But It's the most, like, it's kind of unsettling sometimes.
Beautifully ominous.
It's like wild, and then you see the bird that it comes out of, and you're like, really? This little cutie dude is like doing this crazy howl. Yeah, it's sick.
So, Pied-billed Grebes. This is a bigger conversation also. This is something that is going to turn into a big project, a long-term project, and I think it's going to be a years-long project, maybe a forever. I don't know. Just depends. What I'm learning to love is the access to the stuff closest to me. Yeah. I obviously recognize not everyone has Pied-billed Grebes closest to them.
Right.
I've lived in places where the closest thing to me was a grackle and a starling. But I've taken pictures of both of those birds and gone, dang, they do look good too. You know, the sparkle on the starling is amazing. Those black, blues, and purples, you know. But anyway, understanding, I've talked about this before, understanding your subject to make yourself a better photographer. This goes so much in hand with being a good wildlife photographer, because understanding your subject includes understanding behavior and, you know, when to be and where to be to get the best shots. These Pied-billed Grebes live on the lake that I live by, and this lake is not large at all. I think at its longest from end to end is like maybe between 1/4 and 1/2 mile, and that's its long end. On the between the shortest ends, it's like certainly around 1/4 mile or shorter. So there's your idea of what I'm working with. I can walk around this lake in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I have an access point on the east side, close to my house, and there's one access point that's good that I sit down close to the water level. If you watch my stories, you've probably seen all this a bunch of times, but I've been doing it a lot lately in discovering like the relationships on this lake with all these wildlife. And there is one mating pair of Pied-billed Grebes. They're adults, and I talked about this before. They had babies last summer, and I watched those juveniles grow up a little bit, and they're still juveniles, but they're like 1 year, so they're still a little spotty. But there's I think 3 or 4 of them, and what I discovered the other day was that there's actually 5 brand new juveniles. So I undercounted. I counted, I'll get to this later, but 5 this morning, 5 total brand new babies, new chicks. So I have this family, and I mean 2 adults and what is that? 9 children these adults are taking care of now. And I'm starting to like really, I'm not going to use the word bond, because I don't want to be like influencing these birds at all.
Right.
I would rather just be
observing
as invisible as I can be. What I really want to do is document, and I want to understand like how important the ecosystem is and what their role is and whatever all the other species roles is on this lake. It's kind of an unassuming lake. You would drive by it and not think really like much lives there. But as I've spent hours and hours and hours now just watching the water, there's like huge snapping turtles, and there's the other day a skunk was roaming around the spot where I sit at.
I saw that in your story.
We've got 11 Pied-billed Grebes. We've got all kinds of, we've got the mergansers, and there's 2 ringneck ducks, and there's a couple of hoodies now. There's all kinds of things. If you really stop and take a look, there's like 20 geese, and half of them are goslings, and they're like old enough to not look much like goslings anymore. I'm really understanding all the species and how they relate to each other. But I've taken it upon myself to really keep the closest eye on these Grebes. And so for the last year now, I've watched those 4 or 5 juveniles grow to be like 1-year juveniles. And I'm taking it upon myself to make like as long as I can watch these grow up, and as long as they're there, I'm going to continue this project of Pied-billed Grebes. And maybe next year or 2 or 3 years from now, I'll have a really great body of work. If I pick the best shot of a month of each of those months going forward, I'll have an amazing body of work.
Right.
A collection of what these Grebes growing up looks like, and what it means for these 2 adults to take care of 9 juveniles, you know? Yeah. So there's points on the lake where I'm watching where the sun goes down, where the sun comes up. The east side, obviously west of me, where the sun goes down, I can backlight a little bit, or in this case, it's not really backlit, but you get the reflection of the sun on the water, so that adds to a little bit of color and atmosphere. If I'm on the west side of the lake, like I was this morning, you can see that from the other side, which is nice. So I'm at the same time trying to stay artistic, not just purely documentary. I'm trying to be creative with this and trying to understand, like, okay, if I'm going to document, how do I do this and make images that are actually worth sharing with people? So I'm also, as like a landscape photographer does, like pay attention to where the light is coming from. What times do I need to get up? How early do I need to be there before the light's there? Yeah. Where exactly am I pointing my camera? All these types of things. So if you really want to pay attention to the nuance of it, you can follow me on Instagram, and I'm constantly posting stories when I'm out doing this and updating and things like that.
Heck yeah. You want to check out this clip?
Yeah, let's check out the clip, because this was this morning where I discovered just how many juveniles we're working with now, and it looks a little choppy to me.
Yeah, it will be, but it should be all right.
So what we have
OBS
here,
looks okay.
Okay, what we have here is these brand new chicks riding on the back of what I'm going to guess is the mom of this family of Pied-billed Grebes. And side note, we talked about this. There's been some geese that have died on this lake, and there's no real clear reason why.
Right.
And I found a deceased one today, so I texted a friend of mine who is in the DNR and lives locally, and I let him know when things like this are happening. But I also texted him, on the plus side, I got this beautiful footage of these Pied-billed Grebe chicks riding on the back of their mother, and he didn't know that Pied-billed Grebe chicks would do that, like mergansers would or something like that. So I'm learning a lot about what it is to watch these things grow up, and I took probably 3,000 photos.
Yeah, I bet.
This morning.
I would have too. Once you see those chicks and stuff, like that's so awesome.
Beautiful side light. There, I'm looking north. The sun's coming from the east, so beautiful side light. Fog's rolling behind them. It's the first light. Just absolutely gorgeous. It was a little dark at the time I was watching them, but I had just enough light to make it work, and you could see clear as day, just like how nestled in the juveniles. They'll climb up on the butt basically, and then dig up underneath the wing and get really tucked in. And at points there were times where I couldn't even tell they were there. I couldn't tell how many were in there, but you'll see photos later on when I get to these that there were a total of 5, and I'm not sure if they were all in there, but after these clips, all 5 of them popped up out of the water. So I don't know.
That's crazy.
Because usually grebes will go down and come back up in about 5 to 10 seconds for air.
Yeah, it's cute.
So that's what I got this morning, and I don't know if I'll ever see something like that again, or as nice as that looks.
That's epic as hell.
I'm so pleased. So I'll share that on socials pretty soon after this episode goes up. I'm very happy with that. Yeah. And to finish it off, a little more cuteness. Oh, let's go to Washi real quick, actually.
Oh, okay.
We'll just go to. We adopted a new kitty.
Oh, cute.
His name's Washi. Lisa actually rescued him with like dozens of other stray cats that were recently born while she was down in Charlevoix and texting me. And I knew, because it was our wedding anniversary and she was away from me, that we had no choice. I had no choice. I was coming home. So very snuggly. You pick it up and it just starts purring. So very, very nice cat. Gets along very well with the other cat. Gets along quite well with the dog that I have, and glad to have him. He's a very, very exploratory little guy.
Yeah, he's cute as hell.
Yeah, he is. You can check out the other miscellaneous birds too. We'll just rattle them off real quick.
Yeah. All good stuff.
We had the morning warbler. I spent a lot of time with that in July, I think. Very, very difficult to shoot. Very elusive, likes to be in the shadows a lot, but I got a couple of shots I liked. Indigo Bunting. That I don't know if I think I don't think it's a lifer, but it's the first good shot ever.
Sure.
I've got I've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah. They're often on freaking telephone wires and like super, super high. So it's not always easy. I took for granted the first time I got them really good and low, because I think it took me 2 more years before I got, low, eye level good shots again. So they're tricky sometimes.
Yeah, and this was a trail that's new to me. It's
gorgeous birds.
I've been on it a couple of times. Do you remember that video I did about shooting in fog like 2 summers ago?
Yeah.
This is where that was.
Nice.
I don't go there for birding because it never was good for me.
Yeah.
But it was that morning, so I might go back.
Look how freaking gorgeous these things are.
I know. Beautiful, beautiful color of blue.
Oh, damn.
And driving to where we roast now in Gwyn, I've seen multiple times now hawks checking out roadsides for, easy meals. And this I think it's a rough-legged hawk, was right by the intersection. So I had to slow down anyway. So I pulled off to the side of the road, jumped out my car, and he let me take a few shots. This was the same day where earlier that morning I was telling you about that like very brightly colored white bird.
Yeah.
There's a chance it was this, and I just didn't really. It's not that I didn't connect the dots, but it's very, very white.
Well, if you're square with this one and you don't see the top, this could be an all-white bird.
Yep. And in that morning, the sun would have been on him, lighting him up more than that. So I think it's possible it was this bird that I saw for sure.
Yeah.
And just a gorgeous bird too. I believe juvenile, but rough-legged hawk or big, they can be white like this, the white chest like that anyway. And then the kestrels. I remember telling you that I saw those baby kestrels on a utility pole. And
that's cute.
I just pulled a shot off the card and wanted to show you what I was looking at.
Yeah, that's adorable.
Those guys. I'd never seen baby kestrels before.
Yeah, they're cute as heck. Holy crap.
Yeah, one of the adults, or if it's the only one, was fighting off crows about a month ago on a rooftop. And I thought, if she's fighting crows, she's probably protecting a nest. And a month later, I would guess that was true, because here we are with baby kestrels. They're strange. Those eyes are so... there's something about those eyes.
They're like we're little killers.
They're piercing eyes. But I've never seen baby kestrels, so that's cool.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. They're really, really cute.
But I had a lady down the road. She was standing. It must have been 100 yards down, but she yelled at me, "What are you taking pictures of?" Like she was like defensive. So I just yelled back, "Birds!" And she's like, "I don't believe you." She thought I was taking pictures of her house because it was like towards her house.
Sure.
So I was like, "You want to see?" She's like, "Yeah." So we walked. It took like a minute for us to walk and get together, but finally I was like, "Look, they're baby kestrels. They were right on the utility pole. In fact, they're right above your house now." And I'm sorry I wasn't taking pictures of your house. And I scrolled through just to prove I wasn't, but it made her feel a lot better.
That's funny.
Sometimes you get that. That was kind of a first for me, but
yeah.
That has been my late June, July, and early August.
Yeah, that's awesome. I am jealous. We have not done basically any birding. So we were actually talking about this morning that we need to figure out when we can do a trip, because Elle has a freaking away. She'll have to work in Detroit for 2 months starting next month. And
That's
then
a long time.
She'll be back for like 2 weeks, and then she has to go work in Grand Rapids for a month.
Whoa.
So these are like away rotations. She'll be doing pediatric anesthesia in Detroit, and then she'll be doing, I don't remember, Hearts or something. I can't remember what she's doing in Grand Rapids, but another.
Is there on-site housing for things like that?
No, you get a stipend, but you just have to like find a spot to rent.
Wow.
And then, it's brutal. So.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Good luck to her.
Yeah, for sure. Good luck to us. It's gonna be a hard couple months, but we're gonna try and squeeze a short trip. We're looking at Arizona for between then. We still really want to see a Roadrunner.
Me too.
And we got some hikes and stuff, and I have a couple buddies down there that we can crash with, so we're gonna try and do a few days.
Pictures on her cell phone of Roadrunners. I'm like, I know what that is.
Yeah, my buddy John moved down there like a year and a half ago or something, and he was there for like 2 days, and there was one running right by him. He's like, "Dude, check this out." I was like, "God dang it!" So they're definitely cool. I'd like to get some good shots of them and do a little hiking.
I think my brother is starting to slowly turn into a birder too, because I've noticed the frequency of pictures he's sending me asking me what bird this is increasing.
Yeah.
So I think it's starting to hit him. I think he's turning. Wait. I'm 30. I'm turning 34. He'll be turning 30 in December.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's when it happens. It's also just like a thing now. Like maybe it's because I'm also into it, but it is wildly popular right now.
Super accessible.
Yeah, well, it's super accessible. Sean Bean has his podcast. Like, there's a lot more just like kind of things emanating into normal popular culture about birding. And I've seen like tons of articles about how like Gen Z is like birding now and all this other stuff. It's wild.
I do work with some Gen Zers who are into the birds.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fun, but hopefully we can get some good stuff going. This is, for Michigan, especially Lower Peninsula, it's pretty brutal this time of year anyway. July into August is kind of the slowest time, so hopefully that changes and we can get some time, and it not be so dang hot. But
it helps when you can find some local subjects that don't go away. And then you have plenty of
see, that's sweet. Yeah, we haven't. I've been so worried about ticks and stuff like that, so I haven't been at Fenner and things like that. But then also we had all that crazy smoke for a while, so that stopped us from being outside. And and life. But yeah, I mean,
happens.
Heck of good stuff. That Grebe stuff, I'm excited to see more from that. That's so freaking cool, man. Like I said, that's like a top 3 bird for me.
When I was taking photos and noticed like ruffling of the feathers in the back, and I started to zoom in while I was looking through the viewfinder, I'm like, oh, no way.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe what I was looking at. So.
Yeah, that's super epic.
Yeah.
I will be super jealous when she comes back and I show her that video clip. Because that's like lifetime stuff for me. That's super awesome.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know if I will see that again.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well, I hope you do. So
me too. Yeah. I'm putting the time in, so maybe I will.
Yeah, for sure. Heck yeah, man. I mean, other than that, dude, like, heck yeah. Hopefully we can get some good photography in. Well, I'll definitely have some photography. I'll share some TRC stuff and things like that in the next episode because I'll have plenty to talk about from there. And obviously we'll go through some landscapes and stuff because I have some that I haven't shared from out west. Which I think is what I'm gonna use and utilize to share. But yeah, maybe I'll take some when I'm heading out to Maryland to see my dad as well.
You should.
But yeah, so you got anything else for me?
I don't think I do. I think we covered it.
Cool. Well, like I said, if y'all want to join the Discord, or like I always say, if you'd like to join the Discord, let us know on YouTube or on something. I guess there's messaging on YouTube now, so I think I can DM you the Discord on YouTube. Okay. But Instagram works. Obviously, we always have our Instagrams on the screen, so you can reach out to either of us about anything, any questions. You can follow at light_overtime. Yeah, we just like to do this. Again, this is episode 71. I think around this time it was episode 59. So we've slowed down a little, but it's because we're both way busier than we used to be.
We're not hitting 100, but I think the quality of every episode we're putting into this year beats all the others.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the amount of photography we're actually sharing and stuff is way better. So it's been fun.
If you come up with a landscape photo, submit it to lotpodsubmissions@gmail.com.
Yep. Link is also in the description.
There we go.
Give us a little description. About your stuff, what you shot, if that matters to you. A little background about the shot. We're gonna go through some stuff. We're gonna talk about how David edits some of his landscapes, and then we'll cover a handful of things. So it'll be a good episode. That'll probably be in at least 2 weeks. Episode 72. So that's all I got.
Very good. That's all I have.
If you're still here, I appreciate you listening and watching and sharing. And
take it easy. Goodbye, guys.
Go use your cameras, you jackals.